Nice little way to start off.
Are you a little bit concerned, Graham, about me coming up behind you?
What kind of a bloke is concerned about 4 tonnes of truck on a steep hill just behind him? Tim, you know the track's steep. When you go over one of these washaways and all I can see is your fuel tank.
Yeah, it's a bit of a concern, isn't it?
Oops, there goes my water bottle.
I'm just literally pinned against my seatbelt, I tell you.
Does this hill ever end?
If you're into tough four-wheel driving and epic campsites, then this is the video for you. And I've also got cracking news too. Get 10% off store-wide at 4 Wheel Drive Supacentre. That's 10% off winches, spotlights and heaps more gear. Just keep an eye out for the exclusive discount code in this video. And of course, enjoy the adventure.
Here we are again in the magnificent Victorian High Country. A trip to this part of the world just wouldn't be complete without my good mate Tim Bates, who has put together an absolutely cracking few days of four-wheel driving right here in the McAllister State Forest. Of course, we're going to be crisscrossing a whole heap of tracks out here, but there's one that's got me both excited and just ever so slightly anxious. It's called the Burgoyne track, and Tim rates it as the single steepest bit of four-wheel driving he's done anywhere. So right now, Jamie, Tim and I are going to jump in the trucks and hit the tracks. Why don't you sit back, relax and enjoy? As well as my mate Tim in his 2008 Patrol, we've also got Jamie, and he's driving his brand spanking new Defender. And you know what? It's his very first time in the Victorian High Country. Something tells me he's gonna love it. Tim, couldn't have ordered a nicer start to the day, mate. Blue skies, no wind.
Well, it's dry now, but I'd say a fair bit of this could be a bit greasy, so yeah, let's see how we go, eh?
Amped, mate, amped. We're going to get any views today? You know what I'm like with views in the high country, mate. We're going to get any?
Yeah, look, it's pretty hard not to get views anywhere around here, but certainly the big view day is still yet to come.
You know, I just can't explain to you the feeling of, well, for want of a better word, crossing over that comes with these sorts of remote trips.
Hey guys, we're coming up to a lot more water here.
Surely it couldn't smell any worse. Old mate Tim, last time he was up here, he forgot to put his window up before going through this puddle. He covered himself and his whole dash in the stinkiest mud you can imagine. Oh, that is rancid. Oh, that stinks so bad.
Something died in there.
We've got a fairly substantial tree down here, guys. We might have to come and have a look at this one and see what we're going to do with this one. Far out.
That's straight across the whole creek even.
Right.
You've only got the little still, haven't you?
I'm not sure my blade wouldn't get through that one.
How big's your saw?
Not big enough for that.
Not big enough for this?
No.
We've got your handsaw. If you start, I'll get the billy on. Right about here, mate. Go through there first and through there. It's quite raised here.
Yeah.
In fact, if we were to drop a couple of logs in here, and then we could even build it up with river rocks and things and a few other logs on this side, we'd just about pop over that.
Yeah.
Now, ordinarily, we try and get a chain on this tree and winch it out of the way. Can't do it here for two main reasons. One, of course, the tree's just way too big. Second reason is there's nowhere for the tree to go. It's down there on that river, and I can't get it up the bank. There's just no way that's going to happen. So the only way is up and over. I'll chain him up, he'll go in here nicely.
Spanker.
You know, it's a bit of a shame to see a tree such as this just rot away in the bush. Would make a beautiful bit of timber. It's long and straight right the way through.
Getting good health feeding.
One on either side as a spotter. Let's do it. What side do you want to take, mate? Do you want me to take the wet side?
Yeah, you take that side.
Okay, here we are. We're going to try and get over this tree.
I reckon. Can you give me a bit of that way? Yep. Coming up on it now, and up on the main log, and you're about to drop in on your left-hand side.
How's the packing looking at where wheels are going to drop in?
Can you go backwards a bit? Hold it there.
Yep. That should just about see him through. Yeah, Tim's taking it nice and steady here, and that's what we want to see. Gung-ho here, we'll see panel damage.
How's that log, Jamie? It's coming a bit...
Looking a bit dodgy my side.
Yeah, it's kicked up on your side.
Looks like this log must have split when it fell down, because it's starting to crack and break up under the weight of the GU. But he's going to have to try and push it forward with his tyre. It's not stopping him. He's just going to have to try and push it forward.
Good to keep going forward. Righto. See how we go.
That's it, you're good.
You're on a rock slider? Yep.
All right, your rear's approaching. Coming up.
Perfect.
Coming up.
Nice drive, mate. The actual log caved in.
Great bit of guidance there from the guys on each side. Certainly very helpful in that situation.
Jamie and I make a couple of small adjustments to the ramp, and then it's time for Shorty and I to step up. Holding.
Try and turn your wheels to the other side of frack. Yep. Woo. Stop there.
Both Tim and Jamie, they've got sliders. I don't. There's no way I wanted to put any dents in me beloved Shorty.
Beautiful. Back wheels are coming up now. And down the other side. Nice job, mate.
Thank you.
Well done.
Too easy.
Too easy with the old Shorty.
Here we go. Time for Jamie to give it a crack. Okay, up you come.
I think you've executed it perfectly.
That Defender of Jamie's is a capable bit of kit. I've got nothing more to add.
How am I there, Tim?
Yeah, no, looking good, mate.
Your front's over, just waiting for the back to come now.
Up she comes. Down she goes. Too easy, mate.
Oh!
Great work, mate. No worries at all.
Good stuff. Next challenge.
There's 1 truck, 2 trucks, 3 trucks, mate. Well, Tim, that's one little obstacle out of the way, mate. What else have you got in store for us?
Well, this track, mate, I've not actually driven this one, so we're all in for a bit of an adventure on this. But I have heard from a few mates that I've known been through the area, and they talk it up pretty well, so let's see how it goes, eh?
Roger that, mate. I'll just stick on your heels. A lot of these tracks out here contain a rocky, shaly surface, and that means traction can be hard to come by.
Comments that came from my mates talking this track up are starting to come to fruition, I think.
That's a windscreen on the side of the track. And a roof rack. It looks like somebody's gone over there, eh?
A broken windscreen will always make you sit up and pay attention, if you weren't already. This is serious stuff.
Front locker's going in for this, front and rear.
And I'm also keeping an eye in the rear view mirror. Don't want to go flicking any rocks at that brand new Defender behind me. All over this track at the moment, you're seeing members of the pea family, the native pea family. Something a bit significant about these, perhaps not these specific plants, but the family itself, and that is that it's where 1080 poison baits are derived from. Native animals are immune to it, and the reason they're immune to it is they've evolved with this plant over millions of years, whereas the Johnny-come-latelys, your foxes and your rabbits, well, they haven't. They haven't built up that natural immunity to it. Personally, for me, don't agree with it. I reckon it's one of the cruelest things we do. Also one of the least effective. I know we have to control the numbers somehow, but I tell you what, if you've ever seen an animal die from a 1080 bait, you'd be against it the rest of your life.
Okay guys, we're about to take on Toomboon track. This will be a bit of fun going down through here.
Jamie, I don't know about you, mate, but Tim's idea of good is a little bit more warped than perhaps you or mine.
Yeah, I've got to say it is a bit strange.
You got to leave a little bit in surprise, mate. You just never know.
Tim came over the radio and let us know exactly what this one had in store for us.
Yeah, the start of this from that creek down there, it's going to go up about 1.9 k's before we reach the very top. So yeah, it should be a fair bit of fun, this track, I think.
Did you say 1.9 kilometres to the top?
That's huge.
Yeah, she's pretty tight, that one, guys.
At some point, I'm going to need supplemental oxygen here. The high country is famous for tracks like Toomboon. Once you start climbing, you wonder if you're ever going to reach the top. It just seems to go on and on. It's just awesome.
When you come up here, guys, there's a cross on the tree up here saying rest in peace, Ken. And after speaking to the local ranger, he informed us that a motorcyclist died here. Just assuming that probably poor fella's gone over the edge here, and when you get up you'll see it, and it's a fair dinkum drop down there, so yeah, pretty sad situation.
That is just directly down, mate.
Jeez, it is. It's nearly straight down. I'm looking at it now. It's incredible.
Oh my God. That is insane. This is a harsh reminder of the real risk we run out here. Whether you're on a bike, in a four-wheel drive, look, even on foot, it doesn't take much for something to go wrong. Our thoughts go out to Ken's family and friends. It's safe to assume he died doing something he loved in a magnificent place.
Okay guys, now we're going to cross the creek at the bottom here and look for somewhere to camp for the night.
It's getting towards that time of night, mate.
Holy's truth, she's a bit ruddy on the other side here, so let's see how we go.
Oh yeah, ruts. That's the stuff I love.
It's a bit lumpy getting up through there, boys.
There's no doubt about it. I reckon more than one person has had to be recovered from this creek exit in days gone by. Screwed. That was more than I thought it was. Look at that poor stick copping a beating from the defender. Wonder if that's a bit of our firewood. So as the sun went over the horizon, we started to prepare to settle in for the night. And I tell you what, folks, a life on the move is the life for me.
Get more for less at 4-Wheel Drive Supacentre with incredible deals on Adventure King's camping and outdoor gear. Take your camping experience to the next level with the amazing Grand Tourer Mark III aluminium rooftop tent, the rooftop tent that practically sets itself up. King's portable gazebos are built ultra strong with a tough steel frame, are easy to set up even by yourself, and are available in multiple sizes for the campsite or the job site. The incredible new 270-degree freestanding awning can be set up in just 40 seconds and wraps around the side and the back of your car for incredible amounts of shelter. Hit the water on a King's inflatable stand-up paddleboard for an insane amount of fun at the beach, the river or the dam. But warning, it's highly addictive. Plus there's fridges, solar panels and more to make every adventure incredible. At 4-Wheel Drive Supacentre, you get more for less.
Just coming along this ridgeline now, we're quite high up, nearly 900 metres above sea level. Big old clouds just come across, and of course it's all misted up, and that's not something I'm used to at all. Bit of a bummer in a sense, because Tim tells me on either side of this there's some fantastic views, but with the recent bushfires that came through, I'm guessing in 06, and burnt all this area out, all the black tree stumps against the white mist. Gee whiz, it's spectacular stuff. Almost a little bit eerie. Very cool. After covering some good ground, we found a really picturesque little creek to stop and boil the billy. You know, despite being in the Victorian high country, perhaps one of the most pristine environments on earth, you can't always rely on the water quality. Ever think about it? All around us is farming. Not to mention the fact that this is one of the most popular areas for bushwalkers, campers, four-wheel drivers, hikers, the whole lot. That means a heck of a lot of toilet stops. So you can't always rely on what's in the water. Now, there are three main ways to make sure your water's safe. The first, of course, is heat, which is what we're going to use here by boiling the billy to have a cup of tea. All you need to do is bring the water to a rolling boil. That'll bring it to 100 degrees centigrade, and of course, nothing can live in that, meaning that the water is perfectly good to drink. What it doesn't do, however, is remove any sediment or particles that are still in the water. The second method you can use, if you can't light a fire, of course, is chemical. Simply bung one of these little tablets into a litre of water, let it sit for half an hour, it's perfectly good to drink. But again, if there's anything floating in the water, it's not going to remove that. You need a method to do that. So that brings us to the third method, and that is filtration. One of these special jerry cans here, or even one of the ones you take hiking with you, will filter the water out to an extremely small degree, trapping all sorts of things like cryptosporidium and giardia. It's a simple matter of filling it up, pumping it and priming it. Then you just open the tap, clean pure water squirts out the other end. The downside to that, of course, is it takes up a bit of room and you need to replace the filters. But otherwise, you will ensure you've always got a good clean supply of water, no matter where you are.
Can anyone hear me? Mayday, mayday. You guys on channel 12, can you hear me?
Yeah, copy the mayday caller, copy the mayday caller. Just got a mayday call over the UHF from someone tackling one of the tracks down here and they've had a rollover. Not too far from us, we're going to go down and see if we can help him out. It's the right thing to do. So we're going to head down there now and see if we can assist getting back on his wheels.
Well, any time you get a mayday call in this particular country, you just know it's going to be bad in one way, shape or form.
Yeah, that was incredible. I've never been caught in that sort of situation. We all pulled to action straight away.
We're currently on Sullivan's track, just off Walhalla Road.
Yeah, copy that. Look, know exactly where you're going to be. We're not very far from there at all. We'll hang a Yui where we are and we'll get back there as quick as we can, mate.
Because Tim was with us, well, we could get there because I wouldn't have had any idea how to get there myself.
Anchored up on a tree up there. So,
As soon as I walked around that corner and I saw the Discovery on its roof, I thought, wow, this is in a serious situation here. But one of them was in a bit of shock, a fair bit of shock sort of thing, but the other three, you know, they were really, really well.
How fast were you going? Not very fast, just crawling down?
yeah, pretty much. It was just literally crawling down.
I don't know how that even happened.
We were literally stopped with the car, just kept sliding down into the rut, and the front wandered up, and it just.
Yep.
But they were all good, and we sort of helped them out best we could, so it was good.
Now it's in an incredibly awkward position, this truck. And getting it on its wheels because of the ruts here is not going to be easy. We'll be able to do it, but it's going to cause, I hate to say it, a fair bit of damage on the side of the truck. Now, since the rollover, the driver has tried using a chain to secure the four-wheel drive and has started using a hand winch to try and self-recover. But in this situation, they're going to need a lot more than just a hand winch. Righto, Tim, I've got everything set up here, mate. I'm just going to need some extra slack, so if you can start winching out.
Can someone come down and watch how many wraps I've got left on the drum?
Grab that tree trunk protector there.
I don't think it'll reach still.
I've got a fair bit of rope here. Back up to the main road, that's at least 300 metres. To get a recovery crew out here will cost them thousands.
I'm happy.
Mate, we're all hooked up down here. I'm just going to get you to take the slack up ever so gently, and I'm just going to keep my eye on things, and then we'll reassess, eh? Little more.
The most difficult thing with that recovery, on my view, was getting it back on its wheels again.
Because it was so set up against an embankment that we had to pull it across, so we had to do a number of different holds. Do you think we should put something back to that tree up there?
Just to stop it skidding. Just a winch extension strap up to that tree.
Yeah.
Yep.
So what the guys are doing here at the moment is they've got the winch ready to go on the vehicle to pull this vehicle back over on its wheels, but they're also now running a strap off the back of the four-wheel drive up to a tree behind it. just in case that when we start to pull it over on its wheels that it doesn't come sliding down towards me, which is a top idea. Walhalla is certainly not a place to come out and learn to four-wheel drive. It's a very dangerous place to come when you haven't got a great deal of four-wheel driving experience.
Alright. Righto mate, we've got a snatch block up here on the tree and we've attached it to the diff of this truck. We're going to pull him over on his side.
Which will get a little closer to the wheels.
Got it now. So she's pretty much up to you. I'm going to keep an eye from the back. Jamie's standing on the side and you're at the front, mate. So let's winch when ready.
Okay, here we go. Winching, guys. Nasty.
That's probably the lesser of the sounds you're going to hear.
Alright, well, have a bit of a think about things.
Mate, this is going to be as ugly as heck.
It is. It's going to be not very nice. Tim reframes, comes over to this side, snatch block it, so it pulls the front across, hold it from the back here, pulls it across, then we try another lean over.
Might be the least ugly. It's not going to go anywhere on that.
No, but
It's not going to go anywhere forward with this.
then it doesn't damage that side.
That might be the better option.
It's a
All
big
right,
plan.
let's do that.
Pull it right around, then have another go at that.
Yep. Jamie's really in his element here. He's done a number of these recoveries before, and you can see his mind is constantly ticking over.
Righto.
All right, everybody, fingers crossed.
Okay, mate, winch when ready.
Everyone clear on this, there's a fair bit of load on this one.
Nobody should come anywhere near either the four-wheel drive or any of the straps when they are under load. And as you can see, everybody is well back.
Front of the vehicle's pulling around nicely, which is the plan that we'd tried to set up to do, working very effectively.
And that'll do, mate, that'll do. Okay, so what we've done here is two pulls on the winch, one to get the back around and one to pull the front back onto this side of the track. So now what my plan is to run right out into the bush to that big tree, run it back onto the chassis, and one last pull should see this come down on its wheels. Then the real fun starts, getting it out of here. No mucking around though, we've got to get moving. We've got grey clouds right above us, and this could go from being a difficult situation to a darn near impossible one.
Right.
Winching, here we go. Action stations.
It's just gently here. Here it comes, here it comes. Here's the moment of truth.
Come on.
What's that purple one doing? I think that purple one could be the problem.
No, it's coming over.
You guys go back a bit.
She's coming.
Come on, come on, come on.
Here we go, baby.
Come on. Come on.
Yeah,
Gently too, because it's on that strap.
it's on that strap.
That's the winch off now.
Oh, rain. Just what we need.
The weather when we arrived was very overcast, but yeah, that was really quite threatening that it was going to rain.
And it's a very greasy surface we were working on, and we had the vehicle up and we're running into the bushes both sides, left and right, and up to the back, and it was really getting cold and the rain was starting to come down more and more, so it started to get a bit more slippery, and we thought, hope it stops.
Okay, here we go.
This really isn't what we wanted to see. Sure, now we had managed to get the disco on its wheels, but we're faced with an even bigger challenge of getting this four-wheel drive to the top of the track.
Hold
there, everybody hold there.
This is getting slippery.
All right, part one of the operation. After we've packed up the recovery gear, I'm going to see if I can get the disco to roll down the hill so that we can start thinking about getting this four-wheel drive out of here. The big issue I've got here is not one of momentum, it's twofold. One is being able to stop the four-wheel drive in time with only the handbrake, and the second is whether or not I've got enough turning circle to turn the four-wheel drive so that the front is facing back up the hill. Come on lads, put some weight into it. Don't make me come out there. Well, what an absolute mission to get this far. We finally got the truck pointing in the direction we want, which is back up the hill, because going back down the hill, absolutely not an option. There's only one way, and that's up. So Tim's got a strap on the front of this truck now, to the back of his truck. He's just turned me around, and he seemed to do that with ease, but the hill in front of us is an absolute cracker. It'd challenge Shorty with both lockers. So we're looking at Tim with both lockers, and we're just going to try and crawl up and get as far as we can. If that doesn't work, we'll stop. All I've got is a handbrake, so hopefully we'll stop and put a winch on and see if we can winch up the rest of the way. But I just hope we can do this in one go and get it over and done with.
Certainly what running through my mind when you're dragging a vehicle like that can't assist you in any mechanical ways is the possibilities of breaking diffs, gearboxes, any of those sort of things. But at the end of the day, it just had to be done. You know, that vehicle had to get back to the top. We couldn't leave them where they were.
I've been there and I've been in that situation before a couple of times, and I knew that it was possible to be done.
I got spots, friends. Keep going, keep going, keep going.
Right, mate, I'm ready when you are.
Let's have a go and see how we get.
Whoa, crikey. No, just not enough power and the wrong gear choice. Do you reckon you can go from there, or you want to try and winch from here?
We've just gone back into first, so we'll see how we go.
Righto, mate, whenever you're ready.
Go, you good thing.
Drive it, buddy, drive it, drive it.
Yeah, baby.
Pulled up once, but no, it was a great recovery, and I mean, it was joy to see it go up there. See, I had no doubt in my mind.
Once we did get to the top, it was it was very rewarding, very satisfying. How good's that? Go to the GU and reduction gears, way to go. I've never been involved in a recovery like that where I've had to drag a dead weight up a really steep incline like that.
That was awesome. That was awesome. What a drive. I couldn't see anything, it was just dust. I'm just bouncing up the hill. All I could see was your car going like this.
Oh look, these guys, they were really grateful for the help we gave, because I mean, they had no other way out of there.
And that would cost probably, I'd hate to think, probably thousands of dollars for a recovery like that. So lucky enough for them, we were able to get in there, give them the hand out and get them back up the road.
Well, Steve, mate, that was an epic. We've been here for about, what, 4 hours?
Yeah.
4.5
I
hours?
reckon.
You were saying earlier on you weren't in the ruts, you're up high?
We took the left and went down through the bushes, but
And then your rear end
slipped
slipped
over,
in?
yeah.
And as you've slipped in, you powered up the bank?
Yep,
And
she
that
just
flipped you
kept
over.
sliding down, and then the wheel just took the bank and off she went.
The bit I'm listening to there is where you say we slipped down. And the reason I reckon you slipped down there is, when I was going up there in your truck, gee whiz, the ride was harsh. What's your tyre pressures at?
I think I had them at around 38, I reckon.
Well, to give you an idea, little shorty down there is running at 16 PSI at the moment.
Really?
So, massive difference. You probably wouldn't have lost traction there.
Well, I heard like low pressures for sand and stuff, but
For everything. For
Okay.
everything. As soon as you get off road, drop your pressures according to the conditions, of course.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
if it's a hard gravel road, you're not going to go down to 16, you might go down to 28.
Yep.
But it'll soften the ride, gives you bulk more traction, and it stops you sliding down things like that. And another little tip, of course, ruts are your best friend when in hilly country. Because if anything goes wrong, the car just steers itself down the track.
Yep.
But mate, taken away from this for me, I think it's two things if I can pass on a little bit of wisdom. One, don't let this put you off four-wheel driving. It's a
Oh no, God no.
second thing, of course, is get back out and learn more and more, you know? But don't let this detract your passion from getting out into the bush, because that was
No.
just a one-off. It's a freak thing. I mean, honestly, you could four-wheel drive the rest of your life and that'll never happen again. And above all else, nothing else matters. You're all safe. You're all walking around. No one's bleeding, and that's
Yes, that is
that's a massive positive.
positive,
That's a
yes.
massive positive, because that could have gone absolutely pear-shaped down there.
No.
The crew lent Steve their sat phone, and he made the
You'll see
awkward
when
call to
you
his
do,
dad. And I reckon we've all had to do that at one stage in our lives. Well, we said our goodbyes to our new friends, and we're on our way again. Steve's dad was on his way with a car trailer to pick up what remained of the disco. A rollover is something you never want to have happen, but if it does, there are a few things to remember when dealing with the situation. When it first happens, make sure you switch the ignition off straight away. This is because the engine is not getting any oil, and it has been known to start fires. Now, as much as you're going to be eager to want to get your truck back on its wheels quickly, it's something that should not be rushed, as more often than not, the truck is going to be in a very awkward position. Once you've got your truck back on its wheels, let it sit for a while. You want to check that all your oil levels are okay before turning the key. This includes your engine oil, your radiator fluid, your brake fluid, your power steering fluid, and of course, your transmission oil. You're also going to want to check your battery security and condition, and make sure it hasn't leaked acid. Also check to make sure that your steering and brakes function properly before you take off. Now look, if the vehicle has been rolled over and sitting that way for a period of time, you may want to think about starting it without compression. On a petrol four-wheel drive, you should pull the spark plugs out. On a diesel four-wheel drive, you're going to have to remove the glow plugs and crank the engine over slowly by hand, or, if you can, by the starter motor in short bursts. This will get any oil out that may have gone into the cylinders. And whilst you're at it, make sure that no oil has made its way into your air filter.
Okay guys, we're just approaching on army track here now. This is going to be a good fun track, so yeah, very challenging this one. Hang on.
Don't go up there, mate, it's too rugged.
How are you, mate?
Good, how are you
Not too bad. Yeah, look, we have done this one a few times before, and in the dry, it's should be probably okay. But
How long?
I was through here a couple of last week, and prior to that,
Down, didn't you?
come down. I've been up it about a month ago. If it was wet and pouring rain, you might think twice about it.
The forest, you want to close it off.
Well, I certainly hope they don't, but I can see where your point is. Yeah, to say that it's that sort of track where it would lend itself for people getting hurt.
Well, you wouldn't have me in your vehicle, I'll tell you that.
But with the modifications that all these three vehicles have in the crew here, they're more than up for this sort of conditions.
If it was a Toyota, I'd say yeah.
Ah, come on.
We decided not to upset old mate any more than Tim already had. And come to think of it, we were pretty knackered after the mammoth recovery, so we decided to backtrack and set up camp. Funnily enough, in the exact same spot we'd stopped to have morning tea this morning. Isn't it funny the way things turn out? And a more beautiful campsite you'd be hard pressed to find. Jamie's setting up his beloved Foxwing, he does love that thing. And Tim, he's got his trusty swag out. And I'm onto my awning, because you just never can predict when you're going to get rain out here. With the hard work out of the way, it's time for me to do what I love. Need I say any more? Well, look at that, what do you know? First cast. How good is the trout fishing in the Vic High Country? We've got burgers on the menu for tonight, so this little fella can go back to swim another day. For me, using my four-wheel drive to access pristine spots like this is honestly as good as life gets. I could ask for nothing more. I thoroughly enjoyed this afternoon. A few beers and a few blokes who aren't very practiced in cracking a whip. A dangerous combination, let me tell you. Whoa, he got a double! He got a double! We had no time to eat today. This meal is going down a treat. Tim's even treated us to his speciality, roasted bananas with chocolate and marshmallow. Absolutely magnificent, I tell you. What a beaut end to an absolutely cracking day. I am going to sleep like a bear.
Get more for less at 4-Wheel Drive Supercentre with insane deals on King's DIY storage and 12-volt gear to build your dream 4-wheel drive. Whether it's an inverter you need to run 240-volt gear on the job site or the campsite, a battery box or a 12-volt control box to easily access your power, King's 12-volt DIY gear is what you need to take your 12-volt setup to the next level. Need a battery? King's has you covered with a full range of AGM, slimline and lithium batteries in sizes ranging from 98 amp hour to 200 amp hour. All built with ultra high quality components to go the distance. And of course you just can't beat King's solar panels and blankets to silently charge your batteries anytime the sun's out. At 4-Wheel Drive Supercentre, you get more for less.
What better way to start off a morning? Bacon and eggs, my favourite. This is an egg flip that Tim made in what he calls Form 3. I think we call it Grade 3 from where I'm from. And you can see in here, he made it when he was, how old? 16? Well, I hope it wasn't Grade 3 because you shouldn't be 16 at Grade 3. There's something gone horribly wrong. The egg flip. Aye. Packing up camp always takes a little while, but before long it was time for us to work out a game plan for today.
Yeah, mate, just round there will be the start of that army track.
What's going on here? The map's out, it's a bit serious.
Discussing the army track. We're doing that today.
The one old mate Jim suggested we have a close look at before we attempt.
Yeah.
Well, look, I don't come from the area, but I like a challenge. What do you reckon? You've done it?
Yeah, look, certainly have done that track a couple of times, and on a day like today with the weather conditions we've got, it'll be fine.
It's absolute corking day, yeah.
It's certainly a challenging track, but not a track you'd take someone that's inexperienced up there. But with the vehicles we've got set up and the experience you guys have had, yeah, we'll have no worries, we'll get through there.
All right, let's do it.
All right, guys, we're about to start on army track, so let's have a go at it and see if it's as challenging as what Jim sort of warned us about, eh?
Jim wasn't around this morning to warn us off our path again, and I'm starting to wonder whether he'll get the last laugh or not. And look at this, we're straight into it.
Okay guys, you're going to love this section. There's some reasonable rock steps to be done on this bit, so nice and rocky and quite steep, so have a bit of fun with it.
A bit rocky and a bit steep. With old mate Tim, that can only mean one thing. When it comes to extremely steep and rocky tracks such as this, it really pays to know your vehicle. In Shorty, I engage both front and rear lockers and try and keep acceleration down to the bare minimum. If I lose traction in Shorty, the short wheelbase means that I get thrown around a lot, and the last thing I want on a track such as this is to end up sideways on a steep section.
Righto guys, this is certainly the most challenging section of this track.
Now this is some very technical driving. But with experience and know-how, this really isn't too much of a problem. But that said, I can understand old mate Jim saying that he did not enjoy driving down this. If he'd never done it before in a top-heavy troopy, it really would be a bit of a problem. Just looking at the VMS here, and we're sitting on 1,000 metres above sea level. What I'm noticing all around here is fallen trees everywhere. And of course that is from the extremely high winds. What it does do is make it extremely difficult to navigate. Constantly crisscrossing between fallen trees. It's all good fun though.
Hey guys, when you get down here, I'm just going to stop and show you a little mine that we discovered on one of the in the side of the cliff here. So yeah, it's well worth going inside and having a look.
What, a little gold mine?
Yeah, I'd say it probably would have been a gold mine. It's fairly heavily gold mined in here back in its day, so I'd probably say it would be related to that for sure.
This whole high country area is littered with little mines like this one. I reckon there's a good chance that this one here actually came out a lot further in its day. But when the track was cut into the side of the mountain, it sliced off the original entry to the mine.
Awesome. Nice in here on a stinking hot day.
Oh wow, they went up high. Check how high it is. Oh. Gee whiz. Oh, wow. Looks like they've hit a bit of a reef there. They've gone in there, come up there a bit, and then maybe finish down here.
Down into there.
Yeah.
I wonder how fresh these diggings are.
I don't know.
It's hard to say, isn't it?
Well, as you can see, you can move it real
It's
easily.
pretty crumbly on some of the edges. You got to wonder if they got anything out of it. You'd want to get something out of it after all the effort, wouldn't you?
This depth.
Eh?
Well, guys, you seen enough?
Yeah.
Seen any gold?
No, unfortunately.
Wishful
thinking. All right, well, let's make a beeline. After you, Squire.
Sounds good.
Sound of rolling rocks always puts you on edge in a place like this. Well, I found that really interesting. Just a little snippet into the way people used to live.
Okay guys, got another couple of tight switchbacks to negotiate round up here, so let's see how we go with these ones, eh?
Well, they're definitely giving me a fair old challenge.
Yeah. Well, you're only about 92 foot long, mate.
I'm round the first one, okay.
I've got to say, the challenge I had on these tracks was the switchbacks. Because I couldn't get around them in one turn on a lot of them, and there was some really, really tricky ones. And of course, I haven't come across this sort of country before, so it was a good challenge, and I really, really enjoyed it.
No worries at all on that one. Cut it nice and fine and got round that okay too.
Like threading a needle. What's worse is having dust on your windscreen. It seems to just reflect it, what's the word? Make it go everywhere.
Well guys, here we go. Had a nice steep rocky section on this one here. Could be a bit slippery in spots, so let's see how we go, eh?
Copy that, mate.
Yeah, she's slippery, we haven't even got into it yet.
You want to come back, or what's your plan there, Graham?
Mate, this is a pretty awkward angle, or it certainly feels awkward in old Shorty. Wouldn't mind a winch setup if I could.
Righto, coming back.
So everything was going to plan until I lost traction in Shorty. We'll probably need a couple of shackles and a winch extension strap here, lads.
Have you got any of that sort of handy I can grab off you, Jamie?
Coming right up. Actually, I thought you were going to come unstuck further back.
So did I. But I managed to hold it. She was going, and I managed to hold it and bring it back.
I don't know how far I'm going to get up here if that front diff lock doesn't get bed in.
Now, the problem I've got here, and it's one that you can't really see on screen, is that I was first flung to the right. I managed to correct that. In doing so, I was flung again to the left and have fallen into a rut on the left-hand side that's put me in a fairly precarious position.
All clear, mate. You can winch again when ready, mate.
The sensible option here is to use the winch. That's what you put them on your trucks for. It'll get me out of this rut, up this steep section just in front, and from there I can drive the rest of this hill. Hang on, I'll have to restart to give you some slack. Oh, we've got a problem here.
Oh, look at smoke coming out.
Well, it doesn't rain, it pours. Not only am I stuck on the side of a hill, under winch, but now I've got no power. Shorty's stalled, all electrics are gone, and I cannot start the four-wheel drive. Well, we're midway through this winching operation. Actually, I was just about to call a halt to it and drive from here when one of the batteries started to smoke. I lost everything, Shorty died, and it looks like we've dropped a cell on the left-hand battery. Now, ordinarily that wouldn't probably be too much of a problem because it would either be your starter or your auxiliary. You could swap them around. But old Shorty's a 24-volt vehicle, so I need both those batteries. And so, Tim's gone up the top, he's going to turn around, he's going to come back down and winch me to the top, or at least to a point where we can safely see if we can't replace one of those batteries with my third battery, which I've luckily got. However, my third battery, because of a busted fuse or a busted link somewhere, which I haven't been able to find, my third battery is also flat. I like to look at the positives. Every cloud has got a silver lining, and if you're going to be stuck anywhere with auto electrical problems, you want to be stuck with Jamie, that's for sure. Tim, copy. The main difficulty we've got here is that Tim's winch simply doesn't have enough power on a single line pull to get me up the hill. Hold it, Tim, hold it. Hang on, I'll just put my handbrake back on. We might need to do a double line pull here, I think, mate.
I haven't got enough rope to do a double line. We'll have to get a strap out to come back to it.
Now that's the beauty of having a lot of minds all thinking alike. Jamie has come up with a light bulb moment. We're going to use an extension strap to increase the reach of the winch. That means we'll be able to get a double line pull onto Tim's winch. From here, we should have no real problems. Brilliant idea. That's why it's great to have a couple of heads.
Yep.
That'll do you. That's me there, mate. That's Shorty there. What's that? Well, that should get me to the top, in theory.
Go whenever you are.
Righto, mate, if you take up the tension on this, I'm going to disengage my handbrake, take it out of gear, and that's all on you. Once we get up over this rock step that I'm currently on, that's when Jamie's going to undo my winch cable, put it around my bull bar, and then we'll take me to the top, mate.
No worries, let's see how we go.
Okay, when you're ready, mate, take up the tension. Well, this is working, but now what we're faced with is the problem of Tim's GU being pulled back down the hill towards me.
It's dragging me forward now, mate.
Point left hand down.
I've got very little steering.
Yeah, because you're stuck on a rock.
Give it one more go, mate.
Copy.
See how the rev. Hang on.
Okay, by moving those couple of feet, Jamie can now get that taut winch rope off Shorty, off the tree, and we can continue winching.
Right, winch when ready.
As you can hear, everything is working hard here, and it's a long, slow process, pulling what effectively is a dead weight up the hill. I'm unable to give any help here. It is 100% Tim and that winch. Soon enough, the purple strap can come off, and that means we're running now only on the winch cable off Tim's GU. And of course, that means he can pull me right up to his front bumper.
Righto.
Now that I'm finally on some sort of flat ground, we can safely see if we can get some life into that dead battery and get Shorty started.
All good.
Yeah, we got him, Tim. We got him, mate. We got him. What an epic recovery. That hill wasn't even that hard, but it goes to show how things can turn pear-shaped so very quickly. But then the recovery, gee whiz, it was just a combination of things to go wrong. First I got stuck, then I couldn't winch myself up the hill because my battery died, then we didn't have enough cable on Tim's truck. However, we've made it to the top, we've got Shorty going again, and now it's Jamie's turn. Let's see how he goes. Look at the defender go. Jamie doesn't even give it a chance to get stuck. He's foot to the floor the whole way. Well, it's time to hit the road again. Next stop, the track Tim's been talking up, Burgoyne track. Next thing I know, just before we take off, Tim's walked over and he's acting all strange. He's asking me about the sound in my transfer case that I could hear earlier. So nice of him to be so considerate, I thought anyway. No, I meant to have a look at that. I'll have a look now before we get going. What, we got a minute? Oh, that was a ticking noise. Who did that? What? Was that you? I've been stopping on the side of the track, have you hit out the window? It gets faster when I drive faster.
Ticking noise.
And then when I go slow, I can't hear it.
That's right, you've got to get a bit of pace up.
And then it's a tick, 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 tick. Comedians. I'm surrounded by comedians.
Okay guys, we're about to start the highlight of the trip, and that'll be this Burgoyne track, the one we've been building up to. She's an awesome track, plenty of steep down sections, and I'd almost put this one down to probably one of the steepest downhill sections I've ever done anywhere throughout the Victorian High Country, so enjoy it.
Mate, yep, all right. A little bit of trepidation going into this one, but conditions are good, Shorty's good, let's get into it. Now Shorty's actually pretty capable, and a lot of things feel a heck of a lot worse than they really are. Being a short wheelbase vehicle, if the front wheel drops into a rut, the back wheel raises alarmingly, and that is my big concern with extremely steep downhills. This is it. This is the ascent that takes us to the final drop on Burgoyne track. I tell you what, just getting to this point was steep. Getting out of here is steep. Tim reckons the part we're coming up to now is the steepest tracks he's ever driven. I'd be lying if I said I wasn't nervous. My heart rate's up, got slightly sweaty palms, but at the same time, I really, really am enjoying this.
Righto guys, we're about to embark on the final descent on this Burgoyne track down the McAllister River. And yeah, this is a really good section, this one, so hang on to your hats and see you at the bottom.
I can see the bottom down there. I shouldn't even look. I shouldn't even look at that. Oh, that's ridiculous.
Such a long way down. One track you don't want to be going over the edge on.
Coming down here, I feel like my back wheels are only barely touching the ground. I'm skidding more than I'm driving, and it really does feel like I'm going to end up on my nose. This is not a comfortable situation, but this is what we build our trucks for. I did it! I did it!
How's that, Conquered Mighty Burgoyne.
I did!
Okay guys, got this last cross on the McAllister River here. We'll see you on the other side.
Well, here we are again at the end of another extremely memorable high country trip. How about that disco, the lucky escape, and that epic recovery? From there onto the dire warnings from old Jim about Army Track, which we managed to conquer, and I'm so glad we did because it was a cracking track. Now, something I'm not going to forget in a hurry is tackling a few of those mountain trout in that stream we had. That is something I will come back to the high country and do again and again. Thoroughly enjoyed it. Something else I'm not going to forget in a hurry are these steep tracks. I am not afraid to say I was extremely anxious coming into this, but I reckon I've broken the drought. Shorty and I handled them pretty well, and I'll be back to tackle a few more. I hope to bump into you on one of these tracks, but if I don't, I'll catch you next time on 4-wheel drive action.
Forget building your own set of storage drawers or paying well over $1,000 for a set elsewhere, and get your hands on a set of incredibly tough and unbeatable value for money Titan storage drawers. Our entire range of Titan storage drawers have been built to handle just about anything you can throw at them. All models of Titan double drawers come with an included built-in fridge slide on the left-hand side, saving you up to $200 compared to some other brands that charge extra for a fridge slide. Each draw top also has these heavy-duty spring-loaded tie-down points to secure your gear on even the most corrugated roads. We've put them through their paces like none other. We've jumped on them, overloaded them with bricks, chucked an engine on the drawers at full extension, absolutely flooded them and used them off-road year after year to prove just how tough they are. The Titan 900 single draw is perfect for those who have limited space to install a storage drawer. It has internal dimensions of 430mm wide, 790mm long, and 190mm deep. The Titan 900 double drawer setup is ideal for smaller wagons like Prados, Pajeros, and SUVs, with the internal dimensions identical to the 900 single drawer on each side. The Titan 1300 ute drawers are made specifically for vans and utes. The internal dimensions are 1200mm long, 430mm wide, and 150mm high. The 1300mm single drawers are also a cracking addition to the back of vans and utes. The internal dimensions are the same as the double 1300 drawers, but have an extra 40mm of depth, making them 190mm deep. And finally, for the bigger wagons like Land Cruisers and Patrols, the double 1070 storage drawers have internal dimensions of 880mm long, 470mm wide, and 180mm of depth. They come 95% pre-assembled, and all you need to install them is a couple of basic hand tools and a couple of hours on a lazy Sunday arvo. You can also add optional wing kits, both model specific and DIY, so you can finish off the back of your four-wheel drive and have plenty of storage available for your next adventure. Take your setup to the next level with the incredibly tough and unbeatable value for money Titan storage drawers.
If you're after a next level 12-volt upgrade for your vehicle or your next camping trip, then check this out. The Adventure King's 120 amp hour lithium battery. This uses high capacity, brand new grade A lithium iron phosphate cells capable of thousands of cycles. It's paired with a high quality BMS able to output up to 160 amps of current. The future of 12-volt setups is here. Lithium batteries are super lightweight and still have heaps of power capacity. In fact, this battery weighs just over 15 kilos. That's about half as much as a similar capacity AGM. But that's not all. Lithium batteries have the ability to use their entire capacity from 100 to 0% and still have an incredibly long life. The reason Adventure King's lithium batteries are so good is because they use lithium iron phosphate chemistry. That means if you're using the entire 120 amp hours of capacity in this battery every day, it would still last almost 5.5 years. Some cheap lithium batteries use grade B or even second-hand cells to keep the cost down, but not here. Adventure King's lithium iron phosphate batteries use brand new grade A prismatic cells. When these batteries are assembled, each individual cell is matched with others and then grouped. Then those cells are balanced, which means that these batteries always function at their best and ensure you have full capacity. Another major feature of these Adventure King's 120 amp hour lithium batteries is the high quality internal battery management system. This BMS for short takes care of the individual cells. It balances them while you're charging your battery. It prevents overcharge, over discharge, over temperature, and short circuits. A high quality BMS is so important, and it's also incredibly important to match the BMS to the cells and the use of the battery. A good indicator of a high quality BMS is to look for high current discharge and charge ratings. This battery is capable of charging and discharging constantly at up to 100 amps, and it can do a peak discharge of 160 amps of current. A high discharge current and a high peak discharge current are very important if you want to run things like inverters that need a lot of power when they turn on to fill the capacitors. If you're looking at a battery that has a much lower charge and discharge rate, they could be cost cutting by using a cheaper BMS. Lithium iron phosphate is a safe technology, unlike some other lithium chemistries, and Adventure King's lithium batteries are doubly safe. Not only are they sealed and safe to use in your vehicle, they've also passed a short circuit test, overcharge test, over temperature test, and a vibration test, so they're ready to be put to use. Some lithium batteries are extremely sensitive to hot and cold temperatures, and they can be damaged or destroyed by trying to use them. Adventure King's batteries though can be charged anywhere from 0 to 50 degrees Celsius and used or discharged anywhere from -20 right through to +60 degrees Celsius. They use threaded M8 terminals for high power output and easy connection. Measuring in at 330mm long by 162mm wide and 215mm tall, they fit perfectly in an Adventure King's battery box for a lightweight and powerful portable power station. And with 120 amp hours on tap, you could run a camping fridge for 5 or even 6 days. Or you can permanently install them in your vehicle for a next level, super powerful setup that barely weighs anything. And for that reason, they're perfect for your four-wheel drive, motorhome, caravan, or camper trailer, where you need to be concerned about GVM and GCM limits. So if you want a safe, lightweight, super powerful, and super long-lasting lithium battery for your next level setup, you can't beat an Adventure King's 120 amp hour lithium battery.
Introducing the incredible Adventure King's Premium Camp Oven Stove. Your new best mate for delicious barbecue or campfire cooking and warm, cozy fires whether you're at home in your backyard or at your favorite campsite. Let me show you all the things that I absolutely love about it, and I'm sure you're gonna love too. This amazing bit of gear has been designed right here in Australia, and it combines a camping stove and a portable barbecue into one. It can run off multiple fuel sources: wood, heat beads, charcoal, briquettes, and more. When it's time to cook up a feast, you can fit 2 large pots or pans on this huge flat cooktop surface that measures in at 520mm long by 300mm wide. That's enough space to cook up a feast for the entire family. And because it runs on wood or heat beads, you can leave the gas bottle behind, one less thing to pack. And when you want a beautiful roaring campfire, use the included hook tool to simply lift the 2-piece lid off completely and just add in some more firewood. The raised and closed design means you won't risk scorching your grass, your deck, or even your driveway. And you'll be able to use it for a beautiful warm fire at campsites that don't allow open ground fires. Plus, your firewood lasts longer because you're closer to the heat. Now that's cozy. The enclosed design means it's super efficient, and you can make the most of your fuel by directing the heat exactly where you want it. You can even adjust the temperature of your fire by varying the airflow. With these sliding vents on the side, a 2-piece removable lid on top, and an adjustable flue, you're always in control. Remove the entire lid for an open fire, or just this circular inner piece if you need extra heat for cooking, like searing steaks to finish them off. And this up here, now that is a real game changer. A chimney that extends over 2.4 meters off the ground to direct smoke away from your campsite for smoke-free campfires. You can even position the premium camp oven stove under your awning, your gazebo, or your shed for maximum warmth. And the angular offset chimney piece allows smoke to funnel away rather than getting trapped underneath. There's even a spark arrestor on top for good measure. There are so many more things to absolutely love about the King's Premium Camp Oven Stove. It's been designed to be super sturdy with these 4 large legs that extend the footprint a foot wider in both directions for excellent stability. The legs simply screw into the bottom like this, and you can remove the middle piece for a lower fire. This huge access door swings open with the included hook tool to allow you to easily refill the Premium Camp Oven Stove as required. Inside, you've got this fuel rack that keeps your wood or your charcoal up off the floor, maximising airflow and preventing wasted heat. It's a breeze to transport, set up and pack down too, with no tools required. Each of the 4 2-piece legs simply screw together and the chimney pieces pack into each other, with everything fitting into the main body of the Premium Camp Oven Stove for simple transport. Make sure you don't miss the incredible genuine cooking accessories available too, like a proper wood-fired meat smoker and a clever barbecue hot plate set to really take your camp cooking to the next level. And a stainless steel water boiler too. Whether I'm at home in my backyard or out camping with family, my mates, or even by myself, I absolutely love my Adventure King's Premium Camp Oven Stove. It's a portable fire pit, it's a wood or charcoal barbecue, and it's the centerpiece of every backyard get-together or camping adventure, and I know you're gonna love yours too.
Introducing the insane new Adventure Kings 9-inch lethal LED driving lights. These things have an amazing combination of both spot and flood light. They have 21,840 lab-proven effective lumens per pair. That's over 2,000 more than the previous generation. Plus, they have huge light distance performance with 1 lux at over 1.3 kilometers. These are the LED driving lights that other lights wish they were.
You asked and we listened. You said you wanted even more flood of light out of your LED driving lights to light up the sides of the road, the highway and the tracks. We went back to the drawing board to redesign the lethal LED driving lights to produce exactly that. At the same time, we upgraded the lights to the ridiculously tough Kings Laser Light die-cast aluminium housings and 3mm folded steel mounts. So not only are these some of the brightest LED driving lights we've ever sold, but they're also the toughest. How bright? Try a lab-proven 21,840 lumens per pair and 1 lux of 1,342 meters. That's real-world lumens too, not the theoretical lumens that some lights claim they produce. That's thanks to the genuine German-designed Osram LEDs for simply unparalleled light performance. We've also re-engineered the lethal lights with a new 5,185 Kelvin colour temperature. That means they're just a little bit more on the softer, warmer side. Still a clear, crisp white light, but that little bit easier on the eyes when driving long distances. And of course, you get all the features and quality you'd expect from Adventure King's driving lights, like polycarbonate lenses, the same stuff riot shields and fighter jet canopies are made of, and an IP68 water and dustproof rating, meaning these lights are waterproof to a depth of 1 meter for an hour.
Plus, for the first time ever, they're rated to IP69K. That means they can withstand high pressure jets of hot water.
That tough die-cast alloy housing features passive cooling fins and a waterproof breather for longevity, and they have the ability to run on both 12 and 24 volt, meaning they're suitable for everything from cars and four-wheel drives to trucks and machinery. Including the brackets, they measure 250mm high, 230mm wide, and 115mm deep. They have an attachment system that uses 2 8mm bolts on either side to positively lock them in place and prevent them from falling out of alignment.
And of course, they use the same plug as all previous Adventure Kings lights, which makes them an easy 10-minute upgrade. Just unplug your old lights, bolt the new ones on, plug them in, and you're ready to go.
Add in a 2-year warranty and you've got a simply incredible set of lights that leave the competition looking a little underwhelming.
The Adventure Kings 9-inch lethal LED driving lights are the best value LED driving lights on the market. We've re-engineered them to be incredibly tough and incredibly bright. They'll turn night into day, and they're on sale right now for a price you have to see to believe.
You asked and we've listened. The incredible MT1 Go Anywhere camper trailer has just received an ATM upgrade to 2 tons. All new Adventure Kings MT1 camper trailers will now come with the new upgraded 2-ton ATM. But don't worry if you already own an MT1, because a retrofit upgrade kit is available too. The MT1 is already an ultra tough trailer with a one-piece 150x50mm chassis that extends right from the drawbar all the way to the back of the trailer. Now it's even tougher with upgraded suspension, bearings, brakes and wheels to bring it up to a 2-ton ATM. The brakes are upgraded from 10-inch to 12-inch electric brakes. The alloy rims are now rated to 2-ton ATM. And an upgraded set of suspension arms also suit the upgraded ATM. And for existing owners, the retrofit upgrade is incredibly easy to do at home yourself. Everything just bolts onto the trailer with no modifications needed. That extra payload capacity means that you've got more ability than ever before to carry the gear that you need and still remain legal. For more information and full detailed specs on the MT1, see the 4-Wheel Drive Supacentre website. Now with a 2-ton ATM upgrade, the Adventure Kings MT1 Go Anywhere camper trailer can carry more gear than ever before.